Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary? This is an original holiday tale that was inspired by a post on the No Sleep subreddit written by username Heyong. Every year, there's that one popular toy that every kid wants, and every parent is fighting to find. Tickle Me Elmos, Furbies, Hatchimals. This year, it's the best friend. They come in a variety of animal shapes, and they walk and talk and interact with your kid as if it were a real living thing. It's all my son Rex would talk about in the months leading up to Christmas. He would show me videos on YouTube of other kids playing with their best friends. The technology was actually incredibly impressive and justified the hefty price tag. It would ask the kids questions like how old they were, where they lived, and it would give realistic responses when the kids answered. It could even walk next to you and follow you around the house. Rex even explained to me that it used cameras and sensors to do so. It's crazy how knowledgeable and comfortable kids are around tech these days. When I was his age, I could barely operate a TV. I told him that if he was really good, Santa would definitely get it for him. But it was impossible to find. I went to every mall, looked at every online store. The only best friends available were being resold for 10 times what they were worth. It was a week before Christmas, and I had pretty much given up hope. But then a friend of mine texted me. He had found a paper ad on a coffee shop bulletin. A man had purchased a bunch of best friends and was selling them for face value. But there was no name or contact info, not even a phone number, just a location and window of time to meet him. There were so many red flags that it was probably just a scam, but I was desperate. And the location was on my way to work. I figured it wouldn't hurt to go see if it was legit. The next morning, I went to the neighborhood park listed on the ad and looked for the bright yellow truck. There it was, off in the far corner of the parking lot. As I approached it, I saw that there were anti-government conspiracy theorist bumper stickers all over it. 9/11 was an inside job, don't trust banks, technology will kill us, that sort of thing. I approached the driver's side window and saw a man in his 50s. Hi, I'm here to get a best friend.
Sure, I'll need a photo of you first.
Okay, why not? He pulled out a Polaroid camera and snapped a photo of me. I figured it was his kooky way of recording his sales. I didn't know, and I didn't care to ask.
Must be pretty desperate to get a toy from a stranger in a parking lot.
The man said with a chuckle. Yeah, I really need this.
Oh, you need this. Well, I'm glad to have helped.
You accept Venmo? I asked him, gesturing to the app on my cell phone. He burst out laughing.
Only idiots willingly carry a tracking device on them. Cash only.
Luckily, I had some on me, and I handed it to him. You know, cell phones are really useful. The man handed me the box. And as he did, he looked deep into my eyes and said,
Their greatest achievement was making us believe that we need the things that will one day betray us.
okay, this guy's nuts, I thought to myself as I slowly began walking away from his truck. I was just happy to have my hands on a best friend. After work, I didn't even bother wrapping the toy or waiting until Christmas. I handed it straight to my son, who began jumping up and down with glee. This particular one looked like a cute little dinosaur, which he loved. It was the happiest I had seen him in a long time. He loved that thing and took it everywhere with him. The first incident that should have told me something was up was when I started receiving emails for services I hadn't signed up for. I just wrote them off as spam. Then my credit card statements started showing transactions that were definitely not mine. Credit card theft was pretty common around the holidays, so I had my bank send me a new card, and that was that. But the worst of it was when our house was broken into. We had spent Christmas Day at my mother's house with family, and we came back home to find our window smashed and many of our valuables stolen. It was the worst possible way to end such a joyful day. As my wife and I examined the mess, my son came up to me and handed me his best friend. He wants to talk to you. Please, Rex, I don't have time to play your games right now.
You still think I'm nuts, Lisa?
I recognize that voice. That's when it all made sense. I grabbed the toy from him and looked for a battery pack. It must have been really well concealed because I couldn't find any zippers or compartments. The toy continued to taunt me.
You invited me in. You knew what I was capable of, and you didn't care.
Shut up! I took it to the kitchen and pulled out a butcher knife. My son was yelling at me the entire time, telling me not to hurt him. But I had to. I had to destroy it.
Why is everyone so willing to give up their privacy so easily?
I smashed its face. I could hear the mechanism inside shatter. My son was hysterical. But he didn't understand how serious this was. I had to destroy that toy. For his safety. For our safety. My son looked at me with the most hateful expression I had ever seen. I hate you, Mom. I hate you! He stormed off to his room as I fell apart in the kitchen. Then my phone rang.
You thought it was going to be that easy? I know everything about you now, Lisa. And until you get rid of all your devices, I'll keep finding you.
Like and share this video if it gave you the chills. And don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and turn on the bell for notifications. And if you dare, follow me on social media. Until next time, sweet dreams.